everybody, welcome to Exo Spotlight. It's me, Jay, and
Amelia.
And today we've got a super special guest. We're not going to tell you who it is. It could be anybody, but it's definitely someone who you will never anticipate. Who is it, Amelia?
I don't know.
I don't know.
We'll find out.
We'll find out really soon. Put your guesses down. Hello everybody and welcome to Crossover Spotlight. We're here bringing it back, me and Amelia, and we've got a very special guest today. He is of course one of the most well-known dancers in the scene and in Australia perhaps. Who do you think our guest is today?
Don't know, it's hard to tell because a lot of people wear grey hoodies.
That is true, but there is only one person who's with us today, the one and only Keanu. Keanu, thank you for coming on Exo Spotlight.
Thank you, it's good to be here.
Yeah. So today we're going to try and go through a bit about who Keanu is, where he came from, how he got into dancing, and now how he's battling all over the world internationally, how he's running classes everywhere, and hopefully some of his future plans as well. We also, of course, took some questions from you guys, so we'll answer all of them, except for Annie's, apparently.
Yeah, Annie, ask better questions, please.
Alright, so I guess going right back into the start of it, what would you say if somebody asked you, who is Keanu? What is Keanu?
Hi, I'm Keanu. I was born in Sydney and raised in Sydney, so I'm a Sydney man. But yeah, I'm just a dancer, I guess, you know. But always a human being first.
That's true, that's right.
Yes, that's about it.
How would you describe Keanu?
He's beautiful.
No.
From everyone's perspective, like, they see him as a popper first, you know, but I think there's more to Keanu as well.
I've known Keanu for a very long time. Obviously, way back. I guess you were like super young when I first met you. Like
I was about 12.
yeah, that's crazy.
Wow.
How old are you now?
I'm 24.
24. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So time really does go really fast sometimes.
Yeah,
Yes.
Well, I mean, let's start off from the very beginning. How did you start dancing?
Well, as you know, my brother is popping Jack, so it was just me thinking that he was doing breakdancing, you know? And you know, I just like let him do it, and I just played video games, you know. But it was more like he would play the music a lot, and it was just the music first that I would get into. Not really dancing. Like I listened to his music more before I started dancing, and then slowly, you know, I just had to do something to it, you know. And then he was always trying to get me in. So, did
you resist at first? Were you like, nah, I don't want to do that? Or...
I think because he taught me like the simple arm wave when I was like, I don't know, 8 or 9 years old, and I just did it to show off.
Yeah.
And then that was it. But I think I wanted to do like actual breaking first. So I just practiced like a knee spin. And then that's all I did, yeah. But no, it was very on and off before I actually started doing popping. Yeah.
Let's say Jack didn't do popping, like he stopped popping at that time. Do you think you would have continued to do it?
I don't think so. Yeah. Maybe I would have been doing like more arty stuff.
Okay.
But now, you know, I just use my body. Maybe I'd be kung fu. I don't know. I had a lot of interest when I was little, so.
Yeah, because I remember like you were painting and stuff, right? Like for
high school.
Yeah. So like, were you always creative like that way?
I was one of those kids like where I'd give my homework back with drawings all over you know, the spaces on the side, the gaps. It'd just be like full of drawings.
Do you think you had talent in painting, in art?
Maybe like my skills could be refined, you know, like because maybe I have a good eye, I guess, but yeah, maybe if it comes to actual painting, it'd take me a while.
Okay, well, I guess that leads to my next question is, if you weren't sure if you had talent in art, did you think you had talent in dancing at the start?
No. No way.
Just doing it for fun, not really like, oh, this is something I'm really good at, so I'm going to keep going.
Yeah, it was only for fun, you know. Like, again, it was just the music first, so I didn't really care about how I looked.
So when you talk about music, like, is there a specific song that sticks in your mind, or is it just a genre, or...?
So many different, like, things, you know, like... Right now, I'll listen to whatever I think sounds good. So, I don't hate a genre. I might like a specific song from that genre, you know. So I listen to like heavy metal, piano music, whatever, violin, or like techno. It depends, you know. Yeah.
Cool. What was the music back then that we were listening to then? Do you have any tracks that really stand in your mind? Like this is what the music... this is what the music that really got me into it. These kind of tracks, this kind of sound.
We use that as the opening.
Yeah.
Maybe I really liked old school 80s electro, you know, like Egyptian Lover, Paul Hardcastle. Like, just because I liked animation style and waving, you know, before I understood like more boogaloo. But yeah, from what I can remember, that and like, you know, some of the Zappa Roger.
Yeah.
Zappa Roger. Yeah.
The classics.
Pretty classic.
So this is when you first, I guess, started learning it from like Jack, when you first heard the music start going on. Did you ever like have any other instructors or any other teachers, or was it just Jack? Or
It was mainly just Jack, because when I started, I wasn't someone that went to classes. I just kind of learned from Jack, and I took his classes, but I took him for free because I was his brother. Right? I was just his guest, you know. So I think a lot of people these days come to classes, which is good. But for me back then, you know, I didn't have a job, I didn't have money. I don't want to ask my mum, I want to take a dance class, can you give me some money? So I was more just like reserved. So yeah, in that sense, I had peers like Dennis Cool, Romeo, like all those guys from back then. But they weren't really like teaching me, but I learned a lot from them. So they are my teachers in a sense.
Yeah. Well, I mean, back then there wasn't that many teachers, wasn't there? Like, not like today, I feel like, where there's...
No.
Classes weren't as easy, like accessible, I would say.
Yeah, I think so.
Started learning, you started getting into dancing. I guess that would probably lead to the first time you battled or performed, or what was the first time you took it out of just like training and you actually started like using it in like a public setting?
Oh, okay. Well, that's a good question. When I like my first year into it, I was asked by Jack and Dennis to be in their crew, CPO. It's a SPG, Southeast Asian Poppers United Under One Group. It's a mouthful, but like at the time, you know, I wasn't the kind of guy to go, oh, I'm not good, you know. I was actually really confident back then. I was still a bit shy talking to people, but I was like, yeah, I'm good, I can do the wave. But they asked me to be in that group and to lose control. And I didn't really think much of it at then. I was just like, sure, I'll do it. You know? But now I look back and I go, wow, you know, that was a real honor for them to ask like almost a beginner to work with them. And eventually we won the whole thing. That in that 1 year. So, and that was like my first year in, so I'll never forget that.
Was it just you three?
Yeah, it was Dennis, Jack, me, J-Funk, Kaz, Gene.
Gene,
Is that everyone?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that was more. And Lay was kind of in it sometimes. But
Was Patrick in it?
Is it Patrick?
No,
Later on.
not back then, not back then.
I do remember that performance. I was there. I watched it
You were
live.
the MC,
Yeah.
yeah.
Was I on the... Really?
Yeah.
This was before my time.
All right, cool. I guess
you
I was
were the MC, You were always like the Mr. MC for me when I was there.
Jay has done too much.
It's been a long time ago, but I remember watching it because it had like a theme, right? It was the
Wizard of Oz. Our final one was Wizard of Oz.
I always remember. I think it's Gene who melted at the end or something.
Yeah, he was the witch. Okay, check it out if you can.
And everyone had a character, right? Who was your character?
I was Toto, had the long socks as ears, and Jack was the lion. Dennis Tin Man, of course. Kaz Dorothy, and Jean was
the witch.
The witch, and J Funk was Scarecrow.
With Lose Control, you won that.
We did. I didn't win it.
Well, like, as a team, right? You guys won. How did you feel? Were you like, wow, like you're the best crew in Australia, right?
Like, yeah, I was still pretty young, so you know, like I said before, I didn't really think too much about it. I was like, it was great to win, you know, but I was just kind of following Jack and Dennis, you know. So whatever they said, I said, oh yeah, I agree, you know. But they gave me a lot of input in that too, so it wasn't just me following them. So it was really great.
But wait, that was the first time you'd ever performed? Or never battled before, never did anything behind that?
I battled like, my first battles were in 2007. And that was like me as like a super beginner. But yeah, I entered Dance School 21 with Adam, another guy from Stale Biscuits. And then after that, I entered some little battles like Super Round Box or Round Box with Jack. And yeah, that was like just me kind of getting into it.
Do you remember anyone who you were like, who were you rivals with back then? Who did you beat? Did you go well in the first battles? Like made it past prelims, made it to the finals?
My first battle, no, didn't pass the prelim. I think the round box, me and Jack came second. Because that was like a teacher-student battle.
Okay, yeah.
So it wasn't like a big one.
Who did you come second to? Do you remember?
It was our counter Stale Biscuits team. I wasn't really in Stale Biscuits then, but it was Yuki and Adam. They won. And they weren't really teacher-student.
Do you remember the first time you won a battle?
I think, yeah, the first time I won a solo battle was in 2010. So it was maybe like 2 or 3 years after I started. And I remember that really well because it's like, oh my god, I won! It's me! I'm not like with anybody. But I think me and Jack won a $5 battle together. And I was still young and everyone was like, damn! How old are you? 13?
Yeah. Is that how old you were when you won the first solo battle? Or?
No. The solo battle I was 15.
15, yeah. Still very young. I mean,
like Jaya now, he's 10 times better than I was when I was his age.
I do want to get to Jaya. I feel like there is, of course, that parallel with you and Jaya, and like Jack, all of you guys. A lot of those times, though, when you didn't win the battle, was it because you lost to Jack, or?
It's hard to remember. The first time I battled him, I won.
Oh wow, yeah.
It was a G-style down under battle in Chatswood.
Yeah.
But I didn't think I won. But the judges just chose me anyway. But then I was like really shocked.
And then of course Jaya. Then have you faced Jaya a lot in?
I have actually. Yeah. I've got a playlist on my Stale Business YouTube called Keanu vs Jaya. But he's grown so much, and I wasn't scared of him before, but now I'm super scared to battle him. But always it's fun,
Yeah. I remember talking to Jack one time. I think we did one of these with Jack, and he's like, "Yeah, one of these days Keanu will just surpass me," and he's the one I gotta watch out for. Do you feel like it's similar with Jaya, or do you think?
Yes, but I'm working hard to make sure but I want that to happen. I feel like that's already happened. I don't know about surpassing Jack, maybe in certain aspects, but he's always going to be my big brother,
of course,
my big teacher.
Yeah. Do you think you guys have a similar style now, though, or quite different styles, or?
I think all three of us are different, completely different. Jack's really cool and dances really gangster. Jaya has really crazy moves. He uses his body well. I think I've toned it down a lot. I used to be crazy, but now I think I just dance more simple. But sometimes I go crazy. Yeah.
What's the first time you ever battled at international?
You mean like a guest?
Yeah, like a battle guest or
Battle
someone
guest.
of a really high caliber, well-known, famous dancer.
I'll tell you this. In the Destructive Steps battles is how we always brought the Korean guest. I always wanted to verse the guest, I was so excited, it was the big boss, But I never got the chance until maybe 2013. I versed Pop Kun.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that was my first time. Because I've gone overseas before that. Yeah. But here, maybe that was the first time.
How did it feel? How did it feel to be at the level where you're competitive at this?
As I grew up, I got more conscious of, okay, I'm good, But I always thought, I'm not good enough. So it's like hand in hand, I thought, I have a chance, but no. I need to practice more, But I never thought I was better than an international person.
Because I would definitely say now you are international level. Would you say that you're international level, or do you think?
Of course. It's what does that mean, international? Just you can compete with the highest people from other countries or around the world. And I think I can, I've proven that I can.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Do you think other people from other countries, have you ever heard of people from other countries that are being oh, that's Keanu from Australia, or?
Yes. And it surprises me every time. Because I'm just a nobody.
No, well, I mean, as we just said,
I'm aware that people know me, but still in my mind, I'm Australia's still quite quiet, even though we're coming up, we're doing a lot, But I'm still oh, no, Because the people that were big when I was starting
Yeah.
are now much older.
Yeah.
So now there's a lot of people like my generation that are what they used to be.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like I'm always comparing myself to those guys,
Mhm.
not really my peers,
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
which is good and bad, you know. It's like you keep going higher.
So when was the first time you won against a higher level or an international guest or a battle guest?
I think it was against Macho, Japanese popper.
Okay.
Which
And
battle was that?
That was at To the Top
Oh.
in 2015. It was the final, so there was much more hype. You know,
Yeah.
if I had beat him like first round, like
Yeah.
okay, next battle. But it was the final.
Yeah.
You know?
I'll come down to this.
And I think I don't know if Jack had beaten anyone before that, but I think that was one of the first times someone's beaten the guest.
Yeah.
So it was quite a big thing, and you know, I was pretty humble about it. I was like, yeah, like there's a lot of things going behind the scenes, but yeah, I was confident.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, it's definitely something you can take pride in. I think, you know.
Oh yeah, I still do.
Like this ceiling or whatever, you know, that people
Ah,
can't
yeah.
beat the guest. Now you know.
Jack beat all the guests
Yeah.
last year at Destructive
Yeah.
Steps. You know, the 10-year anniversary. So proud of my brother.
Yeah,
you
no,
know, so,
definitely. Yeah.
yeah.
All right. Well, I guess like going backwards, maybe like I kind of skipped some levels, perhaps that you wanted to talk
All right.
Yeah, let's go back to like I guess the beginning of crossover because we heard a lot about like you early on when you first started dancing.
Yeah,
and
okay.
Before crossover, a few of your battles. So
Okay.
like once crossover happened, like I don't know, did a lot of things change for you? Like you started teaching, right?
When crossover opened, I got my own class,
yeah.
which was huge. You know, before that, I was subbing for like Jack, Romeo, Dennis sometimes, mostly Jack. But I remember Jay asked me, you know, like at first it was going to be me just covering.
Yeah.
I was going to be like standby.
Mm.
But then, like, I don't know, something changed, and then I got a class, you know, Alan got a class.
Your name were on the timetable.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I wasn't on the very first timetable, but that year I was on there, so I'm proud of that. Yeah, I don't know, a lot of things changed, you know, after that. We had this place that we could go to that had space, you know. We had this 1 and 2, you know, and even this area.
No B-boys yet. Just like
No.
Yeah, I remember sitting and it was like actually empty.
Most weekends, like it was poppers there.
Yeah.
You know? I think we only started practicing there later on.
Yeah, well, I actually wanted to
Weird.
ask if you remember when 2.5 became the designated
Oh.
popping area.
I
It must be gradual, right?
it's all a blur, you know.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
How did you feel about teaching your own class?
When I first started teaching, like as in subbing,
Mm.
I was really open to ask the students how I went. Like at the end of class, I would be, okay, guys, I don't teach very often, but
Yeah.
can you guys just give me some feedback?
Yeah.
So like, I don't know if anyone does that these days because maybe they're more qualified to teach. But you know, they'd give me feedback like, oh, speak louder and maybe spend more time on one thing, and just like simple things like that. So by the time I started teaching here, I think I had a little bit more experience.
Yeah.
I think I had been dancing like almost every day
Yeah.
anyway since I started, so I had a lot to give. Yeah.
Well, 9 years later, how do you feel? Like, has your philosophy about teaching changed? Has anything?
Yes. I feel like when I teach classes now, I feel like it's my first class every time, you know? Like I don't go, like sometimes, you know, I'll go, yeah, I know what I'm doing, but I'll be like, oh my God, what am I going to do? Because I don't like to prepare too much, because you don't know who you're going to
Exactly.
get. You know, maybe sometimes I used to experiment making routines beforehand, but now, you know, I always have like kind of the same things I want to teach because that's what I feel that everyone should learn and get better at before they excel. But I think maybe I'm just more confident
Mm.
speaking, you know, and screaming at them, come on! You know?
What would you say is the main thing that you look to teach your students in class? Like, what's the main thing?
If you're watching this or listening to this, and you already know, it's like just keeping your timing with like a simple up groove and like kind of just really basic things like stopping on the beat, you know, just really simple things, you know, but they shouldn't be skipped.
I think it's undeniable to say that because of you guys teaching, it's a really big contributor to the scene being as big as it is now. Like, I would have said you've taught hundreds of people, like more, like maybe thousands even, who knows, over the last 9 years.
Ooh.
No, I reckon
Yeah.
so. I would definitely so. You know.
Perhaps, yeah.
And you know, inspired them and encouraged them and trained them to become better. Do you think there's anyone out there who looks at you and says, like internationally or whatever, it's like, I'm gonna dance like Keanu?
I don't think so. I hope not. I don't even know how I dance because I changed so much, you know, so I don't know what they're thinking. I'm not the best.
Who is the best?
Yeah, it's a great question. Who is the best?
Who is the best? Is there the best?
No, too
No.
many. You know, I change like my favorite pupper every week. You know, I think if you've like watched my dancing over the years, you'll tell like I don't dance the same. Because maybe I'll watch this person, maybe I'll just dance like them, and then this person I'll dance like them. Because, you know, there's so many aspects to just popping or boogaloo or whatever.
Do you remember the old school functions? Do you remember like?
Of course I do.
You had your own one.
Much later
Who
on.
hasn't had their own one
Yeah.
by now, you know?
There might be people watching this who don't know what function is. It's the all poppers battle.
All poppers, lockers.
Yeah.
The original idea was to start it like monthly or something, and then
Yeah, it was
Have,
a
like,
monthly
points.
battle. That was very long.
I think that year was 2011.
Yeah.
That was a great year for me, by the way. I think we started in 2010, December.
End of
Yeah.
2010, yeah.
And I remember, I think we did almost do every month.
yeah, we tried. Yeah.
We
tried to
incorporated
do it
like
every month.
a destructive steps into one of the functions.
Yeah.
Normally you did it the other way, but
it was a very long time
we
ago.
were like, "Alright, this is gonna be a function.
Yeah.
This destructive steps."
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that was like a really great part of the Sydney popping history, I think, because it pushed us to just to enter, get better, and you know. We had the point system.
Yeah,
which
yeah.
It didn't mean too much, but you know, you get a point for entering, you get more points for winning. You know, I don't know what the points are for, but
Just for bragging.
it
rights.
was
I'm
just
sorry.
fun. You know,
Yeah.
it was really fun, and it was good to have something every month. You know.
Well, nowadays I feel like there are so many battles all the time.
Yeah, but maybe there's not enough just popping or just locking battles.
Yeah, because, like, I mean, from my perspective, because I would have, like, I started in crossover when it first opened, but it's like, I feel like because of function, that's why popping and locking was so visible to me, you know? Because, I mean, we ran a lot of other classes, but it was like function that kind of made me notice popping and locking, like, every month, because you always had these promo videos, and
Yeah.
they were fun, and then, like, there was so many people of that specific style, like, just gathering in one place. Like, I reckon that's why I feel like popping and locking became such a big part of crossover identity.
Yeah. I mean, it's gonna bring back locking function again.
Every week.
Every week. Every day.
Every day.
Yeah, I mean, I know that, like, function in the beginning was really good, and then it kind of, like, went a little...
My feeling was that we did it too often, and it
Too
became
often.
too regular.
Too
Like,
much,
oh
yeah.
yeah, like I went into this one because I was into the next one.
Yeah,
oh,
yeah, yeah.
it's raining today, so I won't go. Or whatever. It became too regular.
casual.
Yeah, too casual.
I guess we didn't need it too much though.
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of, like, in response to the changes, like, you know, like, because after a while, like, people started being more confident and they didn't need
Yeah.
it as often, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like it was there when it needed to be, and then when you realize it wasn't working as well, like, things changed, and now it's really different too.
Like my feeling on function was
Like, community.
yes,
Community.
it was more of a community thing because everyone could put their own music in.
Yeah.
And that's what I loved because because I love putting my songs and I'd remix songs
Yeah, there was like crazy songs a lot at the time. Yeah, it was so funny.
for the popping and the locking.
Yeah. I guess like, well, after function, when did you start going overseas?
My first overseas trip was to Korea for the Busan Hip Hop Festival or something like that. That was my first trip, and it was to Korea, and I was like, wow, because I really looked up to like the Korean dancers, and so going there for my first like overseas experience was like really crazy.
How did you go?
So we didn't win anything or anything, but I remember there was another Aussie team there. It was Blonde, Don, and Now, and they went there. So we kind of had like a little group to go with, but they beat China, so that was good. China was like, whoa, but
Blonde. Blonde? I don't know.
well, you know, could say that now though. He's like more Australian, but yeah, I remember extending my trip because it was only like a couple days, but then I'm like, okay, I want to stay another week. So, and I just took that time to take classes, as many classes as I could, and just train, meet the people there. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. That was my first time. There was no like other battles I did, but it was just like a learning experience.
When's the first time you went overseas and won a battle?
I think it was the year after I went to Singapore. That wasn't really for the battle. There was a, you know, Yumin, Forte Senin. I went to just take his lesson because he was so hard to find back then, or even now. But and then I ended up doing his performance course, which I wasn't expecting because he had it, and then Charles Lee was there. He was helping me, and then he was like, oh, why don't you just do the thing? I had to pay for it, of course, which I wasn't prepared for. I only brought like $300, and I spent most of that on the course. But I'll never forget that. And then the battle was like the day before the performance, so I remember coming top 4, and Jack won. Yes.
Nice.
And he's been winning there since then. No, that was great.
Which event was that?
It was called like Original Gangsters or something, just a generic name for an event. But yeah, you can check out my performance with Corte Senin, and don't watch those battles.
What about representing Australia then? Like, so this is like KOD now, or how's this experience? How was this?
I guess, you know, I've gotten used to it. Like at first it was like, oh my god, wow. You know, but you know, we try to represent Australia as much as we can because we're not that scene, but we have been, you know, growing. Jack and Dennis, Romeo, they made the Oz Puppin Scene page, and that was just to connect Australia, not really to let other countries know about us, but that was more to connect like Melbourne and Sydney, Queensland, Perth, whatever. But now I think it's branched beyond that. So even when international people come here just for like their holiday visa or something, I remember them saying, "Oh, I looked at this site and I saw there's the event."
So cool.
You know. So yeah, it's been good, you know. But yeah, repping Australia
and winning, right? No, I mean the team didn't win, but I've heard that for the popping side, you guys.
Oh yeah. In the Korean, the Asia Cup, we won. I think beating China was an accomplishment.
Like now Keanu like regularly goes to China and judges and.
You've been invited as a battle guest, right?
Was that? Yes, I was. Last year, I was shocked though when they asked me, because they had all these people that I watch on YouTube. You know, they were the guests as well, and I'm like, me? You don't want me. But I didn't say that. You know, of course, I just took the opportunity. So that was great. You know, don't forget that.
I mean, it seems like your dance journey has been like really incredible. I mean, obviously from the start, inspiring. That's a very good word. I think inspiring. Do you think that it's just you that can do it, or do you think some of the people now in the scene, some of the young kids and stuff, do you think they could follow a similar path? Or
I think I had a lot of great opportunities when I was young. I won't say easy passes, but just I had a lot of luck, you know. But it was more because of the passion, you know. I kept going to events. I kept practicing, you know, and I think, you know, anybody can do it. They just need to like work hard and have the passion, you know. That's about it.
So what's next? What's next for you?
Next, the future.
Yeah.
I might have some projects coming up, which I can't talk about.
Okay.
Because maybe I don't have any. Maybe I do.
Yeah.
So you'll find out. Yeah.
Is the idea to try and still travel and dance a lot more, or is it more to stay at home and practice and get better, or?
I think just a balance, you know. I've always liked being here and just dancing with the community more than just spending more time overseas. So yeah, just a balance, you know. I like to go overseas every now and then, but maybe not too much. Yeah.
Well, DS coming up again.
Is it? Yeah, it is. Yes.
End of August.
Have you ever won to show yourself? No. Right?
No.
do you? What's your plan? Are you gonna? Is that a goal?
It was actually,
Yeah.
you know, of course. I think back then, like when we first had the destructive steps for popping, the goal was to win the whole thing. But I feel like now, if you beat the guests, you've already won. But I think now it's changed a little bit because we have so many great dancers here that if you can win, like become the champion, you know, that's even better. Because, you know, we can go toe to toe with the guests, and like we've proven it, you know. But you know, I like beating the guests.
How do you feel? Anything else on your list? Should we go into questions?
Oh yeah, we
I
still
think
have
so.
questions.
Still got questions. Before we go into questions, though, I guess my last question before we get there: what do you think of Sydney's popping scene now compared to back when you started?
Bigger, yeah. It's hard because when I joined so many years ago, I wasn't like a baby. I was little, but yeah. So everyone was older than me, and now I'm older. Everybody's younger than me, so it's really like bizarre for me. But so sometimes I forget. I always think someone's older than me, and they're like, oh, "I'm 20, you know, I'm 19." I'm like, "Oh, what? You're in uni?" Oh,
yeah.
But I think a lot has changed, good and bad. You know, I really like the old days. You know, a lot of people like the old days, but I think now we have a lot more freedom to just do what we want. Yeah. But yeah, if I could go back, I would.
I think all of us.
Yeah.
Go back to the young.
Yeah.
days. It was. I guess it was like simpler back then.
It was.
Yeah.
Okay, should we go into question time? What do you reckon?
Yeah, sure. So Mina asked, what has been the biggest highlight for you so far in your popping journey?
Biggest highlight. Oh, well, there's so many. You know, it's hard to pick.
Yeah, I mean, you talked about some of them, but
Yeah.
any that you would select.
I think it's just maybe meeting like my heroes, you know, the people that I've watched for so many years and just getting to know them and learning from them, I guess. So yeah, just don't ever stop, and like you get the opportunity to meet those people and take it, you know. Yeah.
If you got to do another dance style, what would it be? And this is excluding popping and locking from Annie.
Before I didn't really like much besides popping and locking, but you know, any of them. You know, because I like different music from the different styles.
I guess we haven't really talked about your locking. I mean, you are quite good at locking as well, wouldn't you say?
I'm getting better.
Yeah.
I have to say, I'm getting better.
He's been training it.
Yeah.
Is it a goal to kind of be good at locking?
Yes.
Or,
Yes. Now it's a bigger goal, I guess, because I'm not saying that I've done so much in popping that I
of
can
course,
stop.
yeah.
I just feel like it'll improve my dance overall, which, you know, there's so many people out there that can do so many styles that I look up to. So, and when you can only do one really good, you know, you're kind of like, yeah, all right. But, you know, yeah, I really enjoy locking, you know. I think I've actually been doing it for a while, but I only started training it, you know, within the last few years because I trained popping and then I kind of just have fun with locking, you know. If you see my old footage, I'm just jumping around, funny and kicking and splitting, but...
I'm sure there's some old function like you're looking at.
My first locking battle was against Keanu.
Oh yeah, I remember.
How was it? Did you win?
No.
That's alright.
You also represented locking at KOD.
Yes. Again, I was lucky to have that opportunity, you know.
Let's say your hopping is at a 10, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where do you score your locking?
3 or 4.
It's still okay.
Yeah,
It's getting better. I'm coming up. I'm gonna prove it, I swear.
What advice would you give to dancers who have hit a roadblock in their dance? From Gabby.
I've had that before. Well, you know, there's a lot of answers to that. Change, you know, what you're practicing, change the music, or even just don't be afraid to stop for a while, you know, because, you know, sometimes we need a balance. But actually, all the time we need balance. Otherwise, it's not healthy. Just take breaks, and when you come back to it, you'll feel better. Or don't be afraid to go back, you know.
What does that mean?
backwards.
How do you mean?
So like, let's take it, if you hit a roadblock, you might find a way out of it.
A different way.
Yeah, exactly.
Go by going back.
Exactly, yeah. Or yeah, just think differently. Yeah.
So from Kai, do you have any funny or strange stories about meeting or hanging out with foreign or famous dancers?
I don't really try to provoke anything to happen when I'm around like famous people or whatever. Yeah, if I have one, I'll tell you in person, Kai.
Yeah.
Cool. Mark did ask, how do you train your pop movements and isolations? But I do think that's can be answered by coming to your class.
Yeah,
If you have any questions about popping, Keanu wants you to know too.
come see me.
Personally.
Yeah, come to my lesson.
So we'll move on to some of the non-dance questions. Do you have spare time? If yes, what do you do in that time? That's from Vanessa and Anji.
Yes, I have spare time. I think I have the most spare time out of anyone you might meet. It's a good thing and a bad thing, but I use that time to rest because when I do dance, I try to do as much as I can. So, you know, resting is important. I guess it's my hobbies, right? I just kind of look for music, you know, just do like regular things.
Video games.
Yeah, video games.
What are you playing?
I like Tekken. I finished Spider-Man.
The
I
new
heard
one?
it's very good.
It's
New one, yeah.
awesome, yeah.
Yeah.
Finished all the DLCs.
Yeah.
Worth it. My dog. You gotta walk him every day, so that takes a lot of commitment.
Yeah, I miss seeing your stories.
With my dog. He's grumpy.
What's your dog's name?
Coda.
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 Little poodle?
Yes.
We mentioned your painting a little bit, but general question, do you do anything creative outside of dance? Do you have like music, like you
Yeah,
as well?
I'm not a musician, you know, and I'm not like a complete DJ, but I just like to edit things, you know, like you start off making mixes for your showcases, right? Or performances, and then you kind of learn how to, you know, splice things, you know, out of songs, and then so I just kind of played a lot with like loops and making my own remixes. So yeah, I'd say that's one, but you know, I'm not like a real musician or anything. It's just for fun.
Have you ever heard someone use one of your remix tracks in a battle?
Yes, actually. I think it was like a big battle. It was old school night, and I think because of SoundCloud, you know, anyone can hear what you put out there. So like DJ Batsu was like just liking some of my songs, and then I heard it in one of the battles.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, and I was like, oh my god! Like, I think I was still in high school, so I was really excited. Now Jaya, his songs are
Yeah,
getting
he's got
played,
quite into it.
which are like real songs, not my remixes. But.
Would you ever consider going into that kind of field?
Yeah, I would consider it, but I don't think I'd
very
be.
niche.
I really like playing music for people, you know. I like playing music at the studio when I practice, and I like, because maybe some of the music at battles, I like, oh, you know, I could play something better.
Yeah.
I think everyone feels like that, but I really feel like, I can contribute a lot of good songs, But
Hire Keanu to DJ more.
yeah. Maybe when I'm older. But also, I don't like missing out on the dancing.
Battle part, yeah.
Because so it's a big commitment to
Balance.
refrain from getting out there. But yeah, I love it.
If you want to hear Keanu's music, please go to his SoundCloud, which is
Keanu Wardana. This is my name.
I'll put it below.
Yeah,
If you were a villain, what would your powers be?
Who asked this question?
Wait, let me hold on. Oh,
Mabel.
Yeah, okay. Be able to generate as much sweets and food, but I wouldn't be able to share it.
Okay. You just hoard it for
That's
yourself.
pretty villainy, right? If I could, I would give it to everyone, but
No.
it's just mine. So it's a very selfish power.
Alright. And second part was, who would be your arch nemesis?
Oh, Mabel.
Because Mabel wants the sweets.
Yeah.
That's right.
What's your favorite color of underwear?
Grey.
Why grey?
Alex Choi.
I just like it. Just goes with anything.
Have you ever lost your temper and yelled at someone ever? From Sophie?
Probably.
Everyone does at some point.
Yeah, that's normal.
Keanu's not inhuman. If you could only eat the same meal for the rest of your life, what would it be? From Rhonda.
I've experimented being vegetarian for a few months.
Not your jam, or?
I guess it's not good when I'm young. I think that when you're older, it's okay. But now I need my protein. But when I go to like pubs and stuff, I like to get the chicken parmigiana. I like pub food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah,
Easy.
like it's.
Me too.
I think a lot of people like Asian food, and I like Asian food too. But I just like something simple.
Yeah.
Simple food.
Who is your favorite superhero, and why is it Matt Murdock?
So, okay.
Charles.
So Matt Murdock is Daredevil. Don't tell anyone.
That's a secret identity. Spoilers.
Between you and me. I like Daredevil, Matt Murdock, because just of his morals, Okay, maybe he'll beat the crap out of someone. And that might be just as bad, but he won't kill anyone, and he always does it for a good reason. And I find myself quite peaceful. This is a fact about me, if I'm in my backyard, I dodge all the ants on the ground because I don't want to step on them, So, I won't hurt a fly or a really scary spider. So, I just like that, and he's just super cool.
Well, I mean, I guess, I've certainly learned some things today about Keanu, things I didn't know. I mean, I've known you for a long time, but
It's good.
really good to hear your insight, especially, I think some of those older, things that you did, like winning, lose control, and, that kind of stuff. I've never really heard your side,
Like
your thought
reflecting
process.
on it.
Oh, yeah, it's like, I never really got a chance to talk about it, so thank you, it's good.
I guess, just to finish off, what advice do you have for everybody watching this, who's watching for you? What do you want to tell everybody? It doesn't have to be about dance, but is there anything you want to...
Well, like I've watched these, I've always just put them on 2x speed because it's quicker. But if you want to just chill out, you can listen to the whole thing. I think just do what makes you happy. Don't stress too much, and if you can, help others. In anything, it doesn't have to be dance, but just share the love. And be a good person.
Hey!
Yeah.
Excellent fun.
Good words.
All right, thank you, Keanu, for being on here.
Thanks, guys.
Hope you had a good time.
Woo! Spotlight, baby.
Finished for today. Thanks everyone for watching. This has been Extra Spotlight episode whatever. I don't know. See you next time. Thanks, Keanu. Alright, this has been our interview with Keanu. Hope you guys enjoyed listening to him talk about his experiences and his journey. It was quite insightful. What do you reckon?
Yeah, it was super interesting because we don't really get a chance to hear from him in depth a lot,
But he's really nice. If you do have any questions, ask him. Talk to him. If you want to learn something about popping, come to his class.
He is one of the best poppers in Australia
Yeah,
right now.
representing
Don't miss your chance.
Don't miss your chance.
You
Yeah.
might be too famous one day.
Thank you so much, Keanu, for being on, and thank you guys for watching. See you next time.